What's going on? Lone Pickle production here. I'm going to be going over how to make a film, how Lone Pickle makes a film, and I'm going to be going over kind of how we made our most recent film. So it's going to be a little how-to and behind the scenes. So let's get into it. Okay. So before we get to step one, we're going to get to a step zero. Step zero can really help step one. So what step zero is to get inspiration. And that can come from anything, anywhere, right? And it really helps. It makes it a lot easier for step one. And so step one is to brainstorm. Brainstorm a lot of things. So there's three subsections in step one, and that is, first you gotta brainstorm ideas, then you gotta brainstorm the plot, and then the details. So for Father Paradox, all three of us came to the stew right here and we brainstormed. So we wrote a lot of things down, just random thoughts, and we kind of pieced that together. So I can read you some of these. So first we got Crimers, which is Vinny and Silas against evil government. We got starts with heist, then against lower level stuff. Government kills everyone in response. Crimers go back in time. We got two stories in two different dimensions. Crimers need reason to go to dimensions. Needs background and motive. We got bank heist, inner voice, time travel. So we started off the Father Paradox started off with like a bank heist. We wanted to do some sort of bank heist. And then it was like time travel, and it's just crazy how it starts with one idea, then turns into something completely different. So basically what you want to do is just brainstorm all the ideas you have in your head, write them down on a piece of paper, see what looks good, see what's not looks good, and then you kind of start to piece those together, and that's when we get into step 1B, which is create a plot. So now that you have all the ideas, it's going to be easier for you to create a plot, and plot is just basically kind of like the main events that are going to happen in your story. So yeah, and then 1C is to create the details. This is to create the story, to create the little moments that weren't in the plot, to kind of really take the plot and make it into a story. And that's step one. Basically a rundown would be get ideas down on a piece of paper, turn those ideas into a plot with basic events, the most important events, and then add details to those events and turn that into a story. Okay, and another thing to note with step one is it's not gonna be quick, it's not gonna be neat. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna have bad ideas, and that's kind of the point of it, is to get all those ideas out and then kind of rank those ideas, right? So if you expect to have all great ideas and to be nice and neat, you should stop, all right? Step two, now that you have the storyline and the plot, it's time to make a script. So what a script is basically the character's dialogue and action. So there's like a couple of things that go into a script. You have the characters' names and their dialogue, and then stage direction. Stage direction is basically what they do. So I'm gonna show you guys the script for the Father Paradox, and then I'll talk to you about step two. So to make a script, there's gonna be a couple things you wanna do. So what I like to do is I like to put the character names in bold 3 tabs away. And then for the stage directions, this is what the characters are gonna be doing, so you can't put that into dialogue. It's gonna be in parentheses, in italics, 2 tabs away. And then all the dialogue is just gonna be normal text in the normal spot, no tabs. And yeah, that's how you make a script. What you want to do for the script is basically what all the characters say, the dialogue in between each other, and then what all the characters do. And then that's pretty much it for the most part. And then that leads us into step 3, which is to create a storyboard. And what a storyboard is basically like a template for all the shots that you're gonna do, all the camera shots. So what you do is you take something like this, right? And then for each shot, you would write in that scene number, you would write an image of what that shot is gonna look like, and then description of what's gonna happen in that shot. So you wanna do that for each of the shots. So it is a tedious process, but it really makes filming go by a lot faster. And so yeah, now that we got step 3 and 4 done, which is step 2 and 3, which is script and storyboard, we can now start to film. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. So, what you need to film is you need a camera, and you need a tripod. It's a lot easier if you have someone else to film, but a tripod's definitely good and handy, even if you have someone else to film, because you can like use it to make your shots stable and clean. So the camera, pretty simple. You need a battery that you put on and an SD card that goes in it. And so yeah, all you have to do, click record and film, execute those shots that you have on the storyboard, and that's the filming process. And then there's also a lot other things to film in, like you have to know where you want to film, like the location, the scene, right? And you have to know your characters. You have to know if you have any extras, right? You have to make sure you have continuity. All right, so there's a lot of more things to filming than just clicking record. There's also props, like this is the beard that Luca Dimaci wears. This is the robe and whatever that future Luca Dimaci wears. These are the glasses that the guards wear, right? And I'm gonna show you guys some of the sets that we filmed on for the Father Paradox, and that just goes to show how important they are. And yeah, so there's a lot more than just click and record. You have to know a lot of things. Okay, now that we got that all set, should be on time for the next step. Okay, now that we have filmed at our locations and with all our actors and stuff, now it's time for the most important part, and that is the editing. A lot of things go into the editing. Editing is probably the second longest, if not the longest process. It's between that and filming, but there's a lot of things in editing that you have to do. You have to first get all the clips in and make sure they're at the right length, and then put that all together in sequential order. And then you have to add sound effects where they need to be. Add songs. That's a very important part. Songs is something we like to do. We like to add like a song at the end. So songs are very important, and like background music. We just got into that, as you can see with the in the film. We had a lot of background music, and then any audio, tune up the audios, and then I think transitions where they need to be, depending on where you want. Title slide, so like what the movie is about, who's by, and then all the credits. You have to type in that. That's very important. Make sure you give people the credit. And yeah, if you want to change the color on some of the clips. And yeah, that's basically where the magic is made. That's where the movie is really made, the most important part. Editing. No matter how good your film is, if your editing is bad, the movie's gonna be bad. Stay tuned for the Father Paradox 2, maybe around March, April. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. It's Lone Pickle. See you guys.